How you doing, mate? You alright?
Good evening, how are you?
I'm very well, chap. How are you?
I'm very well indeed, very well. Got good weather today at least.
Oh, no, yeah, it's nice to sit out the window at least.
Are you confined to the studio, are you?
I'm not even in the studio, mate. No, I've been at home. I've been working from home now for 5 weeks. So, as you know, you see me at events and stuff. I paint very big artworks.
Yeah. Usually with the remote control cars, massive canvases.
They're the ones. There's my normal paintbrushes on brand. There's a mini Countryman.
Nice.
Yeah, not a Countryman. There's one of my paintbrushes. So yeah, for 5 weeks, I've actually been working from home from the spare room. This is what I call the green room or the
Nice.
spare room, mainly because I painted each room a different colour. So this is the green room. And yeah, so I've not been painting. I've been drawing. So what we've been doing with for the last, so we're now up to 253. Is
Wow, okay.
creating a continuous car drawing. So basically, I put the pen down and then draw an outline of an artwork of a car, which is going to be the trip that you did out to Italy with Minnie.
Yep, the best trip, I will add. The best trip, hands down, I think I've ever been on.
Good. Well, I want to hear more about your trip out to Italy. There we are. That's we're going to have the middle car with the two flanking cars either side. So what I need you to do is, whilst I start drawing the continuous lines, so once that pen is down, I draw the image.
Yep.
You're going to tell me all about how you got into the industry, like what you do, how it started. Yep. So like I say, being a petrol head, like how did you get into writing, into lifestyle, and then obviously working with brands to do what you do. So, and then you could talk about, the key thing, talk about this trip, what you did, where you went, and also anything else about the minis that you've been driven the electric mini, anything else. So hopefully, does that make sense?
Perfect, makes sense to me.
And the aim is to get this done in an hour. So in an hour, it'll be about 45 minutes to get it done. All of these images will end up in a book as well. So we're publishing a book on Crowdfunder.
I've seen that, yeah.
So all of these, every image we've done will be in that book. So it'll be a proper petrol head book of everything from a go-kart to touring car to everything. So
amazing.
So that's the aim. And I will put the pen down, and then you can start by telling me and everybody else what you do.
Okay, well, so thanks for having me, first of all.
Pleasure.
So I operate the company called The Gentleman Racer Limited. We are a media creative company, so we create a lot of content for other people on their behalf. So brands will come to us and say, we would like a 30-second, 60-second, 10-minute video creating of our product. We have a team of videographers, photographers, social media experts that we will obviously farm out to these various projects. So at any one point we could have 10, 15 projects on the go. And I think, the main thing, I guess our USP is we create lifestyle behind the product in question. So if the product is, so let's just say, for example, we've been asked to do something around a car, we might look at the other elements of the car world. So watches, fashion, food and drink, travel, hospitality, who's in the car, and we create a story around all of that, with the car very much being a byproduct of the actual the feature. So we look at the lifestyle behind the car world, and that's both in motorsport and also road cars. So I think that's kind of where that's our niche, that's what we do. And I guess where we've been lucky is throughout all of this, or lockdown for the last 6 or 7 weeks, because what we do is digital, we can create a lot of the content from home. So I haven't left home pretty much for 7 weeks, and I've got an 8-month-old baby. So it's been challenging, to say the least. I was just looking at your desk there and how organised chaos it looks. That's like our playroom. It's organised chaos.
Essentially, this is my own playroom. So yeah, I'll happily take a comparison to an 8-month-old baby. Yeah. I'm sure my wife will pretty much compare me to that anyway. So
of course you're married, aren't you? Yeah. Recently married.
Yeah. So I mean, we went on our honeymoon to Japan, and we thought that would be the one time we're both together. And normally I'm at events and the event season, and she doesn't really see me for most of the summer. From April, end of March, April, she doesn't really see me. I'm kind of here and off and going off to places and event. So yeah, it's been interesting.
And you're still married. I mean, that's
it's fine. It's fine. It's all gone really well. She's learned to play the guitar a little bit. So in the we call it the evening session. In the evening session from 9 o'clock, she tends to have a drink for dinner, and then she's on the banjo and playing not the banjo. Yeah, she's playing my music. So yeah, it's a bit of fun. But hopefully you can see a car appearing on the page.
It's I'm quite impressed at how quickly you put that on paper.
Yes.
I sort of digress a bit really from what we do, but years and years ago, when I was at school, I really wanted to be a car designer. That was my thing. I would draw all day. I would just draw different cars, different designs. I still claim as I must have been 5 or 6. I have put indicators on wing mirrors before Mercedes did. I'm sure I should have patented that as a 5-year-old. And then, of course, it came out. And car design was always something that I had an interest in. Not necessarily cars and the tinkering under the bonnet and the know-how and the mechanics side of it. That didn't really interest me so much initially. It was more the design. And, I grew up watching people like Ian Callum create, these most incredibly beautiful lines all the time, and looking at Land Rover and Jeep create these big chunky 4x4s and thinking, God, these are cool. I want to do that. So obviously when the opportunity arose to set up the Gentleman Racer, and we've not been going hugely long. It's been a standalone limited company and my full-time job for maybe 5 years now, or just under 5 years.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people look at the front-facing side of what we do, and they see this Instagram life or Twitter life, and it's kind of car launches, supercars, fashion, etc., and don't really necessarily understand what we do. And it's trying to help people understand that there is a business behind all of the front-facing fun, as I like to call it. Look at that.
There we are.
That's us.
So there we are. That's about 5 minutes so far, something like that.
It's that, yeah.
So
well done.
So cool. Like I get it. So and obviously in that 5 years, there's been an absolute explosion in social content and the need for it, and how people
absolutely
engage with life in general. But to kind of you're kind of curating that. You're kind of the curators of that, and I guess you're putting the right people in touch with the right people to so that brands and products can go. Yeah, that's the right person we want associated to us.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at we do quite a bit with Jaguar Land Rover, and we try and do as much as possible with British brands. So Mini, again, prime example. Their heritage is firmly British, and we would look at who makes the clothing for Mini, or who does the Mini watch, or Jaguar Land Rover's case, Bremont watches do the Jaguar watch, and it makes sense to therefore duplicate content. If you're on a Jaguar trip, to create content with a Jaguar watch, or Private White do a Jaguar driving jacket. Again, you're already on the trip. You're saving the client, the business, money by saving on travel costs, etc., by being out already doing that trip. So it makes sense, and it's content that everybody can then share because it's relevant to all of those brands.
Yeah.
That's what we love doing. We bringing brands into other brands, and necessarily where an automotive journalist would focus on the car, or a travel journalist would focus on the hospitality element, or the hotel, or the travel side of it. We would focus on brands collaborations, or if you're in a nice car, where are you going, kind of thing.
Yeah. So
it just makes it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of given the authenticity of it, but it not being.
Exactly.
Yeah, but also it's complementing, so that it goes right. That works with that anyway. So and we work with this company because they do this and whatever.
I think it was John actually, John Quirky on the mini trip. He was obviously creating a piece for. I think it might have been Drive actually online for the Italian job trip, and he was banking up all of his content. He was writing accounts of each day as we were travelling through Europe, and he was obviously typing it up ready. Whereas I think he recognised what we were doing was we were creating these Instagram stories of the trip as pretty much as and when it happened, and effectively we'd done our story at the end of each day by day, and we put together this narrative of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different audience. Granted, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as well written as the piece he was doing, because he is a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I am merely a creator. And whereas his was very polished and very well written, ours was a real life account in our style of what we were doing. And obviously Ped was there as well, and he was of course doing the YouTube video, which he was of all three of us, he was the one doing the video. And It's a brilliant watch if you haven't yet seen it.
No, I'll have to watch it now. Yeah, now that I've spoken to all of you, I'll have to watch it back. To be honest, I've been holed up in this spot now for pretty much 6 weeks, because it's been constantly from midday till 10 o'clock at night. I'm just creating. It's like next people are commissioning to have theirs done. Brands are coming forward and saying, right, can we have that time slot to do this? So, but it's been really exciting. In a sometimes when you put in a situation, it's that fight or flight mode of what can you do when I can't do the job I've been doing for 14 years. What can I do? So that's what we've started to do, and like you say, for me, there's certain brands that I've worked with as an artist, my normal job of painting and whatnot, and launches I've been on, and last year when we got married, we actually had the Italian job minis at our wedding.
So cool. So
we had to transport 10 of our guests from one venue to another venue, and I actually at Shelsley Walsh I met a chappie, and he really liked the banner of my artwork, and I said to him, why do you like the Italian job so much? And he was like, well, I own the cars. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, the cars I've got exact replicas, to the point they've got gold bars in the back of them.
No way.
Did you go to Revival last year?
Yes, yeah.
So the Italian job minis that were doing the demonstration the film. Well, they were our wedding cars.
Oh man, that's super cool.
So Minnie then got in touch with me post wedding and said, "Would you like to have some tickets to Revival as a thank you for because you had the minis at your wedding. It's our anniversary. Come down to Revival." And I was like, "Thank you very much. I'd love to. Thank you very much." So like you said, for me the authenticity is. I'm passionate. I've grown up much like yourself. I grew up with wanting to be a car designer. I grew up. My uncle was a car. He's more engineering now, but he was a car designer. He was responsible for Rover days. So we're talking Rover 75, Rover 200, 25, 45, Maestro, Montego. That my uncle was, design team behind that. And I remember when the first Mini. I sat in a pre-production new Mini before it became a Mini.
Wow.
So, it's been a brand that I associate with because it's been part of my family history and whatnot as well.
Mini are great because I've actually personally never owned a Mini. However, my wife, her first car was one of the first new style Mini Coopers. And I remember when we met, and I would take her car out as a preference over my own. I think I had an Audi at the time, Audi A5. I'd take her car out because it had a punchy little 1.6 engine. It had a manual gearbox, And because the overhangs, front and rear, were so short, it was just like chucking a roller skate round. It was so much fun, and you don't need to have a fast car to have fun, because if you approach a roundabout at 30 miles an hour in a car that feels like it's on the edge and it wants to go around that corner like a Mini, you have so much more fun than if you were in a supercar, because you need to be going at a much higher speed. A, illegal, B, dangerous, and C, you probably won't end up facing the same way you went in on the way out. So it's they are brilliant cars, and the ones we drove, the John Cooper Works, the three Italian job cars we had out to Turin were just a blast, because I can't remember kilometre distance it was. It was about 1,800, I think, 1,800 kilometres. But the whole way there, we've got the walkie-talkies on. I was in the car on my own for the majority, because we had a videographer doing the professional video for the trip. And I hadn't really thought this through. So everybody else had somebody to talk to, somebody to pass them sweets, somebody to have a bit of banter with in the car. I, of course, chose to have a videographer with me to create the really polished video. But in order to get all three cars, they had to be in the support car, not in the Mini. So I spent most of the journey on my own, to be fair, which is why I think Ped asked the question, asking about the 20 chicken nuggets. I'm not ashamed to say I had a light snack on the way as we were passing through France. 20 chicken nuggets. I mean, that's a reasonable light snack, surely.
A man's got to eat.
A man's got to eat. And, to be fair, I got through sort of 15 of them and thought, this is probably a rather large amount to be having. But it's such a good laugh when you've got two other people that are genuinely brilliant people, so Ped and John. And we had Georgie Coxey. I know you're on there somewhere. We had Georgina, Helen from Mini, and they were in the support car, and Darius, who's one of our videographers. And we're travelling all this distance, and the only thing really we've got for company is the walkie-talkies. So
was it straight down? Did you stop off anywhere on the way, or was it just straight down to Italy for the?
So we obviously did the Channel Tunnel. Down into France. We stopped off at Rennes.
Of course. That's just any petrol head needs to stop off at Reims.
Oh, it's mega, isn't it?
It's just you've got to be done.
So, bit of photo, bit of video there, and then our first night was a chateau in. I can't remember. Maybe if Ped's still watching, they'll tell me where it was. I think it was Dijon, actually. I think we stayed in Dijon the first night. All I remember is I just got a new iPhone 11 Pro, and I left my brand new charging cable plugged in. That's all I remember about how amazing the hotel was. And it was amazing. It was a proper French chateau. Great night, great wine, great food, obviously. We drank in moderation, obviously, because we were back on the road again in the morning. And I'm pretty sure, actually, we got there quite late. We had dinner. I think we're the only people in the restaurant, actually. And then we were up early the following morning because it was still dark. I remember that. Back out to make it over to Turin. Ped said it was Chateau de Soulon. Which doesn't ring a bell, but it was a lovely chateau in Dijon. One thing that really struck me, actually, the first night we were in Dijon was Ped speaks fluent French, and I don't know why. I just didn't expect that. It's one of those things where you get to know somebody, and Ped's a great mate, a really funny guy, and fluent French.
I had a similar experience when I did the Le Mans. I went and painted. I created for Michelin at Le Mans in 2014, I think. And I went down with a friend of mine called Alex. You might know him, Scroff, Alex Robbins, who's a journalist.
Yep.
And I had no idea that he also spoke French. And all of a sudden he just went into fluent French, and I was like, oh, you're really useful now. You're really, really useful. So Yeah.
I mean, when I say fluent, I mean sort of Inspector Clouseau fluent, you know, that kind of... But then, even more staggeringly, when we got into Italy, again, not having realised this, I'm sat next to Georgie from Mini, fluent Italian. I mean, and you know, the Italian language is just absolutely beautiful. But this is ridiculous. We were in a restaurant, you know, the menu was in full Italian. It was that kind of restaurant, the kind of restaurant where the locals eat.
Yeah, I know
not
exactly.
Where,
yeah.
Not your mainstream, and I mean the food in there was just absolutely to die for. It was beautiful, but I mean literally fluent Italian. And when you don't expect somebody to, or when you think you know somebody, you don't expect them to come out with things like that. It's just like it's mind blowing. and this is where I just wish I spoke more languages than English.
Yeah.
I'd love to be that person that goes abroad and, you know, picks up a language so fluently.
So you're in Italy. George is speaking Italian. You've got a French speaker as well. And
and then there's me and John. But no, I mean I tell you what, actually, it was so the main point of the trip was to obviously go and recreate where possible a lot of the famous scenes from the film. So you know, the church steps, driving under the arches on the plaza, and the key one really for us was the roof of the Lingotto. And that's obviously comes to the image that you're drawing. So that was, I think, if not it was certainly one of the most surreal moments of my life. And you know, like I said, I've had a pretty varied, very lucky life to kind of get to all these places and all these trips we've been on. But the roof of the Lingotto, bearing in mind, the original film scene was obviously shot up there years ago. And of course, they just had their anniversary. For us to be able to go up on the roof, drive up there, you know, again, I think it was Georgina and her Italian silver tongue that managed to get us up there. But you will never be able to explain how terrifying it is to be told that if you go too slowly, your car runs a risk of tipping because it's such a banked angle at the top. If you go too fast, you will end up in Turin. So you have to hit it at the right speed whilst concentrating on the fact that you've got Ped in the blue car and John in the red car. I was in the cream, in the white. And you've got to concentrate on not crashing into each other, keeping formation as you drive around this ridiculously banked corner. And I mean, it's just, you know, it's such a buzz. And the photos that came out of it and the video we had out of it were astonishing. I mean, I'll never do anything like that. I don't think anything as cool as that ever again, probably. It is that kind of feeling.
Yeah, it is like the one moment, yeah, the one time you're like, yeah, absolutely, I was here.
It wasn't even on my bucket list because I never even thought I would get a chance to do it ever. You know, by the time health and safety comes in, and you know, and you think when you think Italian job, you automatically think Mini. When you think Mini, you know, you don't ever think you're going to get an invite as one of 3 people to drive the car to Turin, let alone to drive up the kind of the multi-story archway to then hit the top of the roof.
And also in the 60th anniversary of the brand and the 50th anniversary of the movie as well.
Exactly. I mean, you know, again, ridiculous. I'm speechless when it comes to it, and I'm so grateful to Mini that we got to do that. We got to tell our story and the way we told it. And I think the 3 people that were on the trip, because we're all so varied in what we did, you've got the best of the best of the YouTube world with Ped, you got the best of the journalism world with John, and then you've got the best of the lifestyle account through what we did. And I think you've got a really good blend. And you know, the video that we produced as a result of it, it's a really cool, I think it's about a minute long, and it literally depicts leaving Hampshire through the Channel Tunnel, the odd coffee stop, the banter we had on the trip, and of course all of the locations we visited. And it's I'll send you after this. I'll send you a link to it. And have a look. It's a minute long. It'll just take you on our story. It's just brilliant.
Well, you've sold it to me totally. I'm totally going to watch. Yeah, totally going to watch that. Yeah, we're going to put the pens down and actually go, like, I need to find out more about this. So, because I've known John, you know, what's been lovely about this whole project, this project would not have happened. Yeah, obviously, it's COVID, very serious thing going on. Yeah, well, yeah, but for me to turn it into like a series of conversations that I've had, you know, with people, and being put in touch with people to go, actually, you know, you can talk to a race driver because he's not racing and doing no sponsor stuff, or, you know, they've got time to talk to you about their career. And that's what I've found fascinating about this part of the project is not only creating people's passions, but also the stories behind photos like this, so that I can then put my thing on the image as well.
In actual fact, so that image that you're currently doing, I remember it clearly, actually. We all had the walkie-talkies. We were told, right, okay, go. We had to build up to speed and hold the formation around the first corner of the Lingotto. And then, of course, that was taken as we exited that banked corner. Now, what we didn't know was that the photographer, who, as you can see, is ridiculously talented, was lying down on the floor, completely lying down on the floor, facing us with his camera on the floor. Now, obviously, you know, we didn't know where he was going to be. We just knew he was going to get the killer shot. But it nearly ended up being him that was the killer shot, because as we came around the corner, we basically had to stay in formation and drive directly past him just so he could get that.
So
how the hell we didn't hit him?
He's not in a car, like he's on the track.
He is lying on the floor flat to take that photo, so he is on the ground, literally as we came off that banking. So we had no chance to course correct, and he just had to trust that there was three more than capable drivers that would go either side of him, and it must have been centimetres either side of him. And fair play, his kahunas are far larger than anybody else's I know, because most people would put the camera there, walk away, and do it remotely. But no, he wants to be there to capture that shot. So there's a whole series of shots that he managed to get on the roof and of course on the trip. And that one that you're doing is one of the best. It's by far and away one of the best shots I've ever seen. We had the sunset coming down in the background. You know, all of us have got grins on our faces, or we're all looking really intensely over at the other car to make sure we're not going to crash.
When I was talking to John earlier about it, I was like, because you've all kind of got stubbly beards, glasses on, and kind of the similar hair, and I was like, I was trying to work it with John. I was like, which one are you? I was like, so
John's in red, Pete's in the middle, and I'm over in the white. But yeah, I mean, it's, to be fair, I'm sporting a bit of an unruly quarantine haircut at the minute. I'm waiting for my hairdresser to open. Must have been about 5 weeks now. So my beard I can keep trimmed. Unlike you no longer have that issue.
So in terms of other mini stuff you've done, so you've been on the mini electric launch as well?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure actually that was the last trip that I did prior to lockdown, and it was out in a beautiful Cotswold village called Tyne, and we were in this lovely sustainable hotel there. And when I say hotel, it was more like if you've ever been to Dalesford Farm or anything like that, it's very Cotswold stone, green doors. They've got their own herb garden, that kind of thing, and all the food consumed there is produced there. Really, really, really beautiful place, and they put us up there obviously as a place really to launch the Mini electric because it made sense as sustainable living, and it set us a group of challenges. So we had to basically do a road trip around the Cotswolds, following clues on a laminated piece of paper that were in our car to basically answer, and we had to answer them on our Instagram stories. So it was a kind of a unique way, I guess, of launching a car. So I think they'd already done the journalist day, where the legitimate journalists had all gone and driven the car to then write about in what car and Evo, etc. And then from our point of view, the lifestyle rotation, you had Dr. Alex George on there, who's doing a lot at the minute, obviously, with being on the front line. You had Rosie May from Made in Chelsea. and then us, and you know, our brief really was to look at the lifestyle behind that car. So if you've got the Mini Electric, where do you go? How far can you go? And the questions that we were being asked were, I mean, very hard, by the way, Georgina. Thank you for asking us these. But like, how many rotations of an electric wind farm fan would it take to charge a Mini Electric? And the only way to find that out, believe me, we Googled it, even though we claimed we didn't, still couldn't find the answer. The only way to find out was to drive to a wind farm in the Cotswolds that was on our map and ask one of the experts who was there on the wind farm what the answer was, or you know, to get some information. It was a really interesting way of doing a car launch. It made it far more interactive and exciting, and obviously, you know, you then come back and have a great dinner, all locally sourced and responsibly sourced, and drive off in the car the next day. But really good car. Genuinely, if I was to be in the market now for a Mini, aside from the GP3s and the GP2s, etc., I'd have a Mini Electric. I'd happily have a Mini Electric.
There's Georgina writing down another one going out. There we are. That's the next.
Although I don't actually have a charging point at home, so you know, I don't know what we'd do. And I'm assuming you know, my son would be quite happy to sit in the back of a massive go-kart and be driven around in that. Yeah, because they are great cars.
So in terms of the last few weeks, so what have you been up to? What you just been planning ahead for possible events? You know, obviously.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so we've got obviously with most of the you know, my diary kind of crossed out now with, you know, Goodwood revival last year with Mini. Whether that happens this year, the revival, I mean, whether that happens this year or not, we don't know. But the Formula One calendar, we're doing quite a bit with one of the Formula One teams at the minute this year. We've got quite a bit coming up with Pilotti shoes.
Yep.
So my wife and I, we're brand ambassadors for them. Cool. And they do some really cool motorsport inspired shoes, so that's exciting. And really, I guess the main amount of my work is going on planning. We're actually launching a new drivers club called the No Garage Queens, which we've been kind of promoting softly for a while now. But it's you know, it's at the minute it's a no fee, no profit drivers club that will bring together the like-minded people with regards to what I was describing earlier around the lifestyle. So we're lucky to work with a lot of partners in fashion, in hospitality, in food and drink, and we're bringing all of those together along with like-minded automotive petrol heads and electric heads, all into one place to offer road trips to Bremont watches, for example, to their headquarters to see how they're made. You know, there might be an opportunity to get a group of like-minded drivers over to the Mini plant, for example, for a look round to see how it is. Yeah. All part of a lifestyle. And then, you know, we go from there onto a nice dinner in Oxfordshire somewhere. And just to create a great day out for people that want to bring their families on a great road trip, because generally, if you go on a road trip with the current offerings out there, it's a lot of it's supercar based, or a lot of it's hot hatch based. There isn't really an all-inclusive family day out that's organised and kind of you know, safe, if you like. You know, we've planned it all in line with the councils, etc., to alert them that there will be a group of cars coming and proper parking, etc., etc., etc. So all of it to come. We're going to be drip feeding it out over the next couple of months, and hopefully sort of towards summer or towards the middle of summer, depending on what the world is doing, we'll be able to launch that. And yeah, we'd love to have you along, obviously. And
well, you're more than welcome to. You know, when the studio's back open and you know, social distancing isn't such a thing anymore, then you know, you can definitely come up to where I'm based at Fargo and see the studio and have like a bit of a do a bit of a day of having a go at it. And you know, because I do stuff like this which is accessible, so kids can have a go, people can have a go at it, and see some of the projects that I've done.
Amazing,
and I do workshops and all sorts. So So yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Oh, that's exactly the kind of thing. You know, we'd have a starting point of a hotel, you know, where there would be tea and coffee, and then we set the scene, we explain the plan for the day, and then we go off. And of course, there's a lead car, a middle car, a rear car. From having just waxed lyrical about walkie-talkies, there would be walkie-talkies throughout every car. So, it's safe to communicate. And then, of course, there's an end destination, such as at your studio, where we can have a bit of fun. So it's just something really nice and memorable, and it's coming soon. So stay tuned for that.
What's on the, if not money was no object, but what would you, if you could just kind of swap and change, or just maybe have one, something for a short time, what would you like to sample in the future?
Well, obviously, all of the minis are amazing and wonderful. Yeah. But if money was no object, genuinely, one of these on the wall behind me, Jaguar XKSS. I mean, again, I never say never, because like with the Italian Job trip, it was never on my bucket list because I never thought it would happen. And of course, when it did, you come away almost in shock. The XKSS, I mean, they're 15, 20 million pounds, okay? So even if I had 20 million pounds, I still couldn't afford one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not really on my bucket list, but there is a company based out in Peterborough who I've been talking to, and I'm doing a bit of work with, and I'm actually buying a replica XKSS. It's obviously not a genuine one. It's not one of the originals, but it's got a genuine straight six Jaguar classic engine. It's built to the same spec, just not the same price. And obviously it's legally not allowed to be called an XKSS because Jaguar own the rights to the name. So it's called an AKSS. But it's mine's being done in Sherwood Green with a tan interior. It's due for completion at the end of 2021. That's how long it takes to do it. It's a very small outfit, but it will be a bucket list moment for me to be able to drive that car almost daily, because I will drive it almost daily. It's got modern brakes, not that you can see through the wire wheels, but it will have modern brakes, and it's also got a modern gearbox from a Toyota Supra of all cars.
Oh right, okay.
So
is that what new Supra, as in BMW Supra?
No, from the previous the real Supra,
the
original, Fast and Furious Supra.
Yeah.
So you can drive it every day because it's got modern gearbox, modern brakes, and with most cars that the period classic cars, where they struggle to be driven every day is the gearbox and the brakes just aren't up to your modern day standards. But they've done it so well to the point where every single rivet joint is mapped out against an original car. Dunlop have provided the original steel wheels for it, the period tyres for it. The paintwork will be Sherwood Green, which is a kind of a lighter green than the British racing green. The leather is being sourced from the same manufacturer that would have originally done it out of Coventry in the original. So it really is a special thing, and I'm having mine with a custom folding roof, so I can drive it every day, and if it rains I can put the roof up and drive it. It will be amazing. So that's not for a while though, but that will probably be the next kind of big purchase that we make.
Awesome. Well, something else that's been created in Coventry is this. So here is the Italian Job replica. Hopefully you can see that.
That's amazing.
There we are.
That is unreal.
So yeah,
well done.
There we are. That is you and the minis on the roof in Italy.
Number 254 in the book. So.
254. And this book. Have you got a link we can share to?
Yes,
obviously.
I'll send it. I'll send it all over to you. So yeah, so it's there. It's crowd. So you can see it there. It's crowdfunder.co.uk.
Continuous-wheels is the book.
Love it.
So because it started off as cars.
Well, I'm a fan.
Good.
I'm a fan, so I'm sure our audience will share it afterwards, and they're gonna love that. I mean, no, that's ridiculous.
And also, there's still time to commission. So there's still time if you want to have your own cars done, or if people want to have their own cars done. There's still time to, because we're doing this till at least the end of this week, because obviously lockdown. We don't know what's going on with lockdown. So if you want to have your own car done, then totally, that's how it works. You get in touch, and you can have this same experience of watching and seeing this being created. But yeah,
live in real time. That's crazy.
So yes, there we are.
Well done, mate.
No worries at all. And so thank you so much for telling me about the trip. Really enjoyed hearing about that. And I'll say I'll send you the crowdfunder link. And that's as it's Monday, it's Mini Monday. So it's been awesome to do this. And,